Welcome to the David Collins 30-minute half-hour show. How long of a pause between?
David Collins 30-minute half-hour show with David Collins.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of David Collins 30-minute half-hour show. I'm your host, David Collins, and we have another great episode for you today. A bit of an interesting one, a little strange, another solo episode, although I shouldn't really say we're alone here. We're here in Galena, Illinois, at Cosmic Oasis, a coffee shop. And we're here to do some street interviews, talk to customers coming in, talk to local business owners. We've teased this a little bit already. And we thought we'd just take the opportunity to do our Season 3 premiere while we're here and just get through those segments also and maybe just play the games with the people. We have a lot of things that we need to get updated on. I have some bad news right off the bat, and we're gonna have to save that for our DC's CDs segment. I wanted to start off the show sending off with a pre-recorded segment we prepared. You remember that Louis J. Gomez appearance?
Yeah, I remember that. I missed out.
Right, and you were supposed to be there.
Yeah, I had a bad time.
And you slept through it.
I was Sad Panda.
So you weren't there.
No, I was not there.
But that went well. So we had a saga where we were supposed to be contestants for a rap contest, a man on the street contest, and that competition was just never followed through with. So we had to go there and just end up confronting him in person at the end of it. But I think we have a bit of a tale. We have the submission video, and then we have me giving the background on Blind Mike's project, and then we finally have the actual confrontation in Janesville, Wisconsin.
He's lucky I wasn't there.
And before we let Jerry go, he did put this together, so you can still give Jerry if anybody sees him, say good job.
Jerry,
it's about
I
the last
appreciate
thing
it.
you can say good job for, though.
Yeah.
He did a great job. Were you at that Hope Sears event on Saturday?
No.
Anyway, we'll just send it to this clip here. But that team is yet to get back to me, so I'm kind of looking forward to if that contest will ever take place.
Yeah, so tell me what this would be, David. You've mentioned it to me, but I wasn't aware of the contest. So you would be a correspondent for them in what way?
Right. They've requested submissions for a national correspondent competition where they'd go over news stories of sorts on their show. So maybe I think they're asking because, to quote, it was something like, we'll send that correspondent to ask podcast questions on the street. So it seemed like maybe they're talking about a news story and you bring that news story to the public.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll reach out to Louis J. Gomez for you, too, now try to get the ball rolling. So for this contest, this Real Ass Podcast contest, David, I think you'd be perfect for it. But you said you had a video. Did you want to play that, your submission? Maybe we can get the ball rolling here. If the gearheads watch this, maybe we can have people reach out to Lewis and say,
that was going to be the next step, and I had talked about this with my team. We said, if this just doesn't go anywhere, we've already put the work into creating a submission video, and I think I would do a good job at that spot, and it might be a good opportunity to get some exposure from that show, and I think I might do a good job for them. So we'd like to, maybe push things along via social media if it's not happening more naturally.
All right, well, let's see it, and maybe if it's if it's good, which I'm sure it will be, the gearheads will reach out to Lewis and tell the rattlesnake to get moving here. Do we have that, Craig?
Well, I think there's something, especially something in here that's really going to get the gearheads on my side.
Okay, all right, let's take a look at it.
Hey there, I'm David Collins, formerly of 101.5 K-Rock, currently host of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show, and this is my submission to your rap podcast national correspondent competition. When Jerry brought this competition to my attention, I had to ask myself, what makes me the most qualified national correspondent? Well, as host of my own show, I'm no stranger to a tough interview. With great guests like Andy Fiore, Eric Nagel, and Blind Mike Geary, I've been known to ask the hard questions.
Are you suggesting this is all a ruse? I will say I'm legally blind. And so at the time, I could definitely see a little better.
Not just that, I've done street interviews my entire career and have no problem getting down and dirty with the public. 2 years ago, I moved from Manhattan, Kansas up to Iowa to be closer to my mother. Yes, that means that your correspondent is from the unique state of Iowa, but it also means that I could be anywhere. Here in Dubuque, or even in Cedar Rapids. How about Janesville, Wisconsin?
Or even on stage.
My name's David Collins, and I'm the next rap podcast national correspondent.
Well, I like it a lot, David. I wonder, without the context of knowing who you are, I wonder how that would go. But I enjoyed very much.
I enjoyed the handshake montage. Was my favorite part.
Wouldn't that be exciting? And also, Luis J. Gomez, I believe, is going to be at Janesville, Wisconsin. I heard a little, I'm not sure exactly, because on his website it says September, and then I'm seeing other people from that Comedy Cabin talking about an earlier date. So who really knows? But we kind of snuck that in to say, oh, hey, we're near one of your shows. Hey there. I'm David Collins, host of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. And we're here outside the Comedy Cabin in Janesville, Wisconsin.
No, you're good. Just all I heard was there's someone outside with a camera.
Right.
Recording. Like, all right, shit.
The comedy show is for comedian Luis J. Gomez. And we're going to be following and ending a bit of a saga I think we're having with a competition that I attempted to submit to a few months ago. Hey there. Are you here for the comedy show?
Yes.
You know, you strike me as maybe the answer is you're one of the openers.
Nope.
No, is that right? You're just here to enjoy the show.
Just here to enjoy the show.
Do you watch the Rap podcast?
I do.
So we have a producer on the show, Jerry, and he is a big fan of the Rap podcast, and he had noticed a competition that they had started, some sort of fan on the street competition.
Oh, okay.
And we already do these street interviews already. We go to comedy festivals and we do things like that. We say, oh, that's perfect. Thanks for sending me that, Jerry. And we created this whole submission and everything and sent it over to the Rap podcast. The competition was never followed up on.
That tends to happen.
I sent dozens of emails to their producers. We tried to do things and get some attention on social media. Do you know Blind Mike Geary?
Yes.
Of the Blind Mike Project.
Of course.
Well, he's a good friend of mine, and he was trying to help get that attention on social media too. No attention whatsoever. So, of course, the natural progression is now we're here hoping to
gotta
confront him on, what's going on with that producer. But anyway, and he just never followed up with that competition. So we tried to do things on social media, and that never got any traction. So now we're just here to tell him in person. With their producers, please answer my emails. Well, that's why we're out here.
Wow.
He's got an honest face, too.
You were definitely made for this type of work, man. I will commend you on that. You got your journalism down pat, man.
Well, that's so nice of you to say. The competition was a fan on the street competition.
Yeah.
And I said, I already do these street interviews. That'd be perfect. There was never a he just dropped it. It was never followed up on. My submission is just sitting there. I followed up with the producers. It's a long story. I did my best, but now we're here. This is kind of the best you can do.
Yeah, and instead of using your talents to do greater things, you still harping on a concept.
Oh, well, we have the show and the reality show. We have many shows happening at the same time. Can I get your time for a minute on your way in? Or right now, if you guys...
Not right now, man. Give me a second.
No problem. We're going to be here all night. So we're out here at the Comedy Cabin, and we finally saw both the comedians here. They came out into the car, and I couldn't get their attention right away, but maybe we'll be able to get them on the way in here. Hey there. I'm really just trying to get some closure here. I submitted for a fan on the street competition, and we do these street interviews all the time, so I thought I'd try to get some closure and follow up with you in person. Because that competition was never followed up on. I send all these emails to your producers. I get no response. Blind Mike helped get something on Blind Mike Geary. We were on Twitter trying to get your attention. Yeah. Couldn't get your attention.
All right.
And this is the best I could do. We found you. We came here from Iowa this evening.
Oh, that's a drop.
I love it. Give me a lighter.
I got
Give me
you.
a favor. What's going on,
What's
man?
going on? Luis J. Gomez here.
Yeah.
You cocksuckers. How about you ask me to record before I fucking kick your camera over?
Well, that would be great for the show.
I know.
This guy's got a fucking beautiful mustache, bro.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say.
I wish I could make my mustache as crisp as this fucking guy's mustache.
And it's always the guys that tell me nice
What do you
mustache,
do?
too.
What do you do?
I'm a broadcaster.
No, obviously, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what do you do for your mustache? Because this.
It's
I'm
all
trying
genetics.
to go for this. That's literally what I'm trying to go for. It's fine. You're good. That's what I'm trying to go for. Is that mustache, and that's it.
It takes like 30 minutes or whatever, but we try to get it right. It looks okay. I'm glad you said something.
It looks good. I really do.
That's so nice of you to say.
Hell yeah, dude.
And we had a little maybe trepidation. What's the word for it? Because we thought you might be a little rough around the edges. But you seem very kind.
I'm not rough around the edges.
Complimenting me right away.
Of course. Well, I'm being honest. I'm not blowing smoke up your ass. You have a beautiful mustache.
No, you might be in a moment.
I'm going to go downstairs. I'll holler at you after.
It's all good, man.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's what brings us here, and then Carl Hamburger, of course, but of course this fan on the street. So what happened to that competition? Did you not get submissions? Are these a fake competition? I actually thought I was being pranked. Somebody sent me the thing, and I said, oh, that would be great. Right up my alley. I'll send something.
We say things sometimes and they don't come to fruition because we talk a lot of shit, and then sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. If a lot of people are really interested in it, there wasn't enough people. If there was like 5 or 6 people that were like, we really want to do this, they'd be like, I think I kind of remember you saying something somewhere peripherally. I don't really remember. I remember the competition. It was like a year or 2 ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it was this year. It was just months ago.
It seems like it's affected you more than it's affected me.
And that's what people going inside kept telling me too. I said, no, we have a show, we're very busy, but this is something we had to follow up on.
I dig it. I dig what you're doing. What's your name?
David Collins, host of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show.
David Collins, 30-minute half-hour show. You're a king, dude. Thank you.
Oh, well, thanks so much.
Nice. All right, hell yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate you being here, dude.
Oh, thank you.
I didn't mean to give you a gripe with me.
No, not at all. We just wanted to clear things up.
Nice to meet you, dude. Okay, man. Hey.
Boy, what a pleasure. And I like your shoes matching your sweater.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's my ex-girlfriend's influence on me. She was
good.
She was a hot chick.
Oh, that's always nice.
My assumption would be that if it was an attractive number of viewers for the show, that people would want to do it because...
You know what I found? How many people come on the show, they didn't even watch the show. They didn't even look at the show in the first place.
That's just crazy.
Is that not you? You would look at the show.
Oh my God, I just realized that's me just now. Fuck! You son of a bitch, but you tricked me. That's not okay. You tricked me into being on the show.
Well, this is much different, of course. David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show is the show that I run.
Of course.
It's a great show.
This is the man in street stuff.
Yeah, we do these street interviews probably once a month or whatever, and I thought, well, boy, what a great opportunity.
By the way, this might be...
Maybe we could bring some of...
This might be a way for you to get the gig.
Oh, I just thought maybe we could collaborate, and I could bring some of your things, and we could just send 60 to 120 seconds of curated whatever you were asking for.
Look, I like the fact that you're a hustler, and I like the fact that you showed up. I gotta be honest with you.
Oh, well, good.
That's it. I just read 50 Cent's Hustle Smarter, Hustle Harder. And I think a lot of people would do very well to just hustle a little bit more.
Did you read it? Can I borrow that book?
No. I listened to the audiobook.
I see.
I haven't touched a real book. That's not true. We have Story Wars now. I have my new podcast, Story Wars. Check out Story Wars, folks. Brand new hot cast. Everyone loves it.
That's great. Have
you seen Story Wars?
I have not. I'm not too familiar with your work.
Shit. How dare you? David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show.
Thanks so much. It's primarily an audio format, and we do a lot of things. It's like a morning radio show.
It's okay, dude. You're the man. I appreciate it. And I do a morning radio. That's what Real Ass Podcast is.
Oh, perfect.
We're a morning radio show. That's what
right.
we do.
Well, we're both broadcasters.
We're broadcasters. We're pros, dude. Thank you, David. You're the man.
Thank you, Lewis. Perfect.
Why can't I fully enlarge this?
I was giving a lot of concern.
Were you really giving concern?
No, people gave me a lot of concern. They say, watch out for these people.
No. Did they really?
A little bit. And you have a history of incidents, I've heard.
Oh, stop it, dude. I have a history of incidents with, like, cocksuckers.
Okay.
Yeah. So don't be a cocksucker.
All right.
If you're not being a cocksucker, it's fucking fine. You don't seem like a cocksucker. You seem like a decent guy.
Well, that's pretty nice. We do go to events like this and make it about ourselves, but...
It's okay, dude. I'm not worried.
I hope not.
Yeah, you're good. He's a good guy. David's the man.
You're a great guy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Boy, this has been a pleasure.
Has it been?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
Melon ball out of his
I hope it was worthwhile for you.
Certainly. Well, we needed to get that, like you said, it was on my mind.
Good.
To settle that a little bit. Did you look at the submission? Are you familiar at all? I implore you to go back. You look at the submission.
You know what's funny, dude? I think we did. Did we watch it on the show?
No.
There was
no follow.
There wasn't many people that submitted. That was the thing. That's why we didn't.
Right.
So we say shit like that. I was gonna do a fucking an assistant for my magic show in Skankfest. I was gonna do that, and then nobody really asked about it again. Sometimes we just say things. Sometimes you throw things on the wall, see what sticks, and that just didn't stick.
I see.
You know.
Well,
you do good shit, dude. Yeah, it's fun. I like what you're doing.
Thank you. Well, you should see the show. We do a lot of different things. Or the reality show.
Send me a link, my friend.
Oh, well, I think it's impossible to send you anything more. I've already tried, and I'm complete. And that's kind of where we're at here. And this is what we've done.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
No, I'm sure. Perfect. And that's that clip. And then we just send it to there, and we put it in between.
That's what she said.
And we have a great show planned for you today. A lot of great games, a lot of great guests. But first, before we get into that, everybody's favorite, color of the day. Today's color of the day, honey. Today we're in a coffee shop. Something that's important in a coffee shop is honey. Of course, for teas and coffees, sometimes people want something a little sweet. I also recently, in Dubuque, Iowa, visited the Crystal Lake Caves. In the caves, you see stalagmites, stalactites, and crystal formations. Many are the color of honey.
Interesting.
Isn't that interesting?
Very.
One was even called honeycomb. Honey is such a coveted color that there are now honey-colored contact lenses to make your eyes the color of nectar.
Ew.
Made up of 231 red, 154 green, and 63 blue. Today's color of the day, honey.
Beautiful. Honey.
That's a good color.
I love it.
With a month off from the show, there was a lot to talk about to the audience when covering world news with David Collins.
Where they play, a crack kingpin, and Chris Rock's a crackhead in it.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, what we have here, we're going to be talking a little about some world news subjects in a little bit here, and I wanted to kind of cover a few of these stories. Did you think, have you been keeping up with any of the news here? What's the story? There's a lot of stories because we haven't really been talking about anything in the last month.
You know what's funny is a lot of the news that I hear is typically when I'm hanging around with all the comics or I'm watching comedy.
Right.
Yeah, I typically that's the amount that I get. So to be honest with you, sometimes I don't know what's real news and what's fake because it all tends to.
Well, the debate just passed.
Oh yeah,
that was a couple weeks ago now, of course.
Yeah.
This is
been a couple
interesting.
Weeks,
A lot of people saying Trump lost that debate. Did you see that?
No, I mean I've heard people talking about it and stuff. I did not watch.
Well, that's
the
what
debate.
they were saying.
Yeah.
You know, Trump barely held it together during the debate. Some might say it wasn't the first time he almost lost his head.
Now it'd be almost a third, huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what people were saying.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
My cousin called me. He said he made it out by the skin of his lobes.
It's a good one. Good one, David.
Well, that's the new writing staff. Jerry used to do a lot of these.
Yeah, nice.
Right. Did you hear the story about Lancaster, California?
No.
There was these two vintage planes that came out, and they crashed into each other.
Oh.
They were crashed into each other. One of the pilots died, of course, but the other pilot actually crash-landed and survived.
That's not.
Witnesses said the pilot
suck.
who survived the unusual crash was able to walk away from the accident, but seemed distressed. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, of course. I bet he would be, right?
Yeah, I don't know how pilots stay so calm. If I got a flat tire, I'm more than distressed.
Yeah, for sure.
There's some dramatic stories here, and I'm finding as I'm going through world news here, a lot of these stories for a coffee shop seem a little, tasteless.
Yeah,
for lack of a better word.
There was just an accident coming into town here too.
Right. Well, we talked a little about that.
Okay,
there.
cool.
It didn't really make it into world news, unfortunately.
All right.
Do you have any comment on it? There's an accident, something about a semi and a camper and a hazmat truck.
Yeah, that's
the other bridge. There was a similar accident.
Yeah, we rolled into Dubuque probably as it happened because as we were trying to leave.
You're listening to
David Collins.
30 minutes.
Show with David Collins. Listen at work, at home, or on your device. Stream us now.
Right.
The exact opposite. So,
have you been keeping up on any of these stories about the Springfield, Ohio? The stories about alleged Haitians eating dogs and cats.
Yeah, I heard about the dog eating. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Whatever, dude. Like, it's not anything new, right?
You know, we wanted to do that segment on dogs and cultures that eat dogs, and I thought it'd be good to pull up a Humane Society page, and we could look at the dogs and talk about if the dogs looked appetizing with somebody. Again, well, I am in a way talking to you. I'm fishing you out for this bit because it seems, again, in a coffee shop, these seem like tasteless bits. So we're talking about these Haitians eating dogs. He knows a lot about that.
Yeah, like, I don't know, dude. I don't think it's any new news. Hasn't this been going on around the world for
right, and we actually wanted
ever?
to do a segment today talking about different cultures that eat cats and dogs. Because I always thought this was interesting. I've always wanted to try dog. I'm a big fan of chorizo, the meat. I've always heard dog tastes a lot like chorizo.
I would think so, because I'm sure they eat a lot of dog down in Mexico as well. So
China, South Korea, the Philippines, Thailand, Laos, Vietnam, Cambodia, Indonesia, Nagaland in northern India. These are all places that eat dog.
And I'm sure the list goes on and on.
China's the biggest consumer of dog meat globally, consuming an estimated 10 million dogs per year.
Yeah. See, so what's the big deal?
Yeah,
so they're
even
getting
know.
authentic Chinese
Well,
over
the
in
big deal is that the
Ohio.
dog meat trade involves many of the dogs being stolen off the streets and then brutally slaughtered.
Well, at least it's not their pets, you know?
Well, it might be. They're stolen off the streets.
Yeah.
So it could be people's pets.
Well, it could be someone else's pet. At least it's not their own, right?
Another country that's big for eating dogs there is South Korea. But they've recently banned it. On January 9th, 2024, South Korea's National Assembly passed a law that bans the breeding, butchering, distributing, and selling of dog meat. Just like minimum wage, though, I guess they're phasing it over the course of years. So by 2027, it'll be officially banned in South Korea.
That's too bad. They're going to switch to chicken?
Well, I don't think they're switched to anything. I'm not really sure. But it is happening all over there.
That's extraordinary.
Oh, hey there.
Oh, Todd Basinger, man. Can I get a selfie with you afterwards?
Did you hear about this Trump assassination, the second one?
Yeah, it was a golf course.
Right, a golf course. What do you think about that? Do you golf?
I just got back from golfing.
Do you ever look at a golf course and say, where could I hide to shoot a president?
There's not many places to hide in a golf course. Yeah.
Well, I heard that he hid in the bushes for about 14 hours. September 16th, a Hawaiian man was found hiding on the golf course former President Trump was playing on, waiting with a rifle. Secret Service actually ended up shooting 2 or 3 shots at him and had him run away, and then somebody got a picture of his car, and he was pulled over a couple hours later, I think. Something like that.
2 shots under par, right?
2 shots under par. That's a great joke. You should write that down. It's too bad that he didn't have a backup plan, because there was definitely a hole-in-one.
That was good. That was a good one.
Oh, that's all right. Jerry might have given me that one. P. Diddy was on a lot of people's screens this week, but not for a Get Him to the Greek remake or a new music video. Sean Diddy Combs, let out of New York City hotel in handcuffs, was caught on video last week. A lot of people are talking about that, of course. You know, I was surprised. P. Diddy looked really great for 54 years old, especially given all the horrors that he has to sleep with every day.
Yeah, that'd be a lot.
He always looks well rested.
Oh, yeah. Well, they say black don't crack. It's really good.
We're talking about the chili here.
Yeah.
What do you think's in there?
I don't care. It's delicious. Cats and dogs. They're eating cats and dogs.
P. Diddy was rejected a $50 million bail by 2 judges due to him being a flight risk. 100 bottles of baby oil were also found in the P. Diddy raid after they raided his home.
That's too much.
And I thought extreme couponing was dead. Hopefully the police were able to confiscate all the oil so these charges can stick.
That's a good joke. I like that.
That's all right. Perfect. I think I skipped a story earlier. Have you been following this Israel-Hezbollah story at all?
Not at all.
So Israel got in the supply line of these pagers, and then doctors and Hezbollah militants had their pagers explode in Lebanon, and it was this attack on Lebanon. They call it a military attack, but it affected civilians too. It's a bit of a controversy. But boy, gives you a whole definition of getting your blown up, huh? You know, I was just thinking, these conflicts in the Middle East there, it's so hot, instead of these 5,000-pound bombs, we should start sending them air conditioners. They'll just solve everything. They're just too hot over there.
That's why they're so angry all the time.
I've heard of insurgent math. Have you ever heard of heating and cooling math?
I have not. I like that.
I think that's all we have for world news today.
Yeah.
Our next segment, our first game today, Sign the Joke.
Right, well, we're a little late because of the traffic. We're stuck. It took us about an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah, we were.
You look like somebody that would like a color of the day pin.
Color of the what?
Would you like a pin?
Oh, thank you.
We want to play a game with you, too. I wish we had this outline. Are you a fan of stand-up comedy?
Yes.
Where would you like to play around a Sign the Joke?
Okay, but I don't know how to do that.
That's perfect. Well, Sign the Joke is a game where I'll read a joke,
Okay.
and you'll have to tell me what comedian wrote that joke.
Oh, all right.
So here's a joke here, and you'll have to say what comedian wrote that joke. Are you ready to play Sign the Joke?
Sure.
Perfect. I read a study the other day that said in America, the average American's number 1 fear is public speaking. Number 2 is death. Isn't that strange? Number 2 is death.
Uh-huh.
That means if you bring the average person to a funeral, they're better off in the casket than reading the eulogy.
Yeah.
Sign that joke.
I don't know.
It's Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, I knew that.
I thought it might be a good joke for you.
Yes.
That's perfect. Are you a fan of Jerry Seinfeld?
Yes.
That's great.
Uh-huh.
Would you like to play a game of Sign the Joke? Are you a fan of stand-up comedy?
Kind of.
Is that a no?
That's a no.
Why don't we just try one round here? I bet you could get this one.
All right.
One round of Sign the Joke. And if anybody out there knows the answer, make sure you yell it out. And if any of you are playing at home, make sure you email me, dc30minute@halfhour@gmail.com. Bit of a stutter. Couldn't get that one out. We've been off season. It's the season premiere. I'm back to getting into the routine of saying the email. That's fun.
President Biden has the same problem, I guess.
Right. Well, he won't be our president for too long. Sign the joke. I love those people, movers at the airport. But they're so random. That's the problem. You could be walking with your luggage for like 2 miles, and then out of nowhere, the airport's like, you know what? Give them a little strip of like 18 feet right there. Just 18 feet? Yeah, just 18 feet is plenty. Just give them a false sense of hope before they walk the additional 42 miles into the parking garage. Sign that joke. Wanda Sykes, I'm hearing from the coffee shop here.
Maniscalco. Did I get the name right?
Sebastian Maniscalco is incorrect. Oh. That was Kevin James.
Oh,
Kevin James. King of Queens.
He's the guy from King of Queens.
Right.
Funny show.
Many people these days might know him from Paul Blart, but I know him from King of Queens. I'm a big fan of sitcoms. Do you know the sitcom Hello, Jerry?
No.
Oh, it's about...
I thought Jerry got fired.
Oh, well, Hello, Jerry is about a single father that moves with his 2 daughters to Portland, and he continues his radio career in Portland.
I see.
It's not very popular. I think it only had 1 season.
Is radio still a thing?
It's still a thing. I listen to it every day. Why don't we play a game of Sign the Joke here?
Right on.
I bet you'll know this one. Are you ready to play?
Certainly.
Perfect. It's crazy you can't have liquids when you're going through security at the airport. No liquids? But you can have any food at all. So does that mean liquidy foods are okay? I think so. I think you can take a pan of lasagna through airport security. I think you just throw it in your bag and they just be like, what's with this pan of lasagna? And you can just be like, I hate Mondays, you know? Just leave it at that. Sign the joke.
No, I
you
can't
should get
think
this.
of
I'll
his
give you a
name.
clue. We were just talking about you and Delicious hanging out. That's a good clue.
Is it delicious?
No. Is that what you'd like to go with?
Well, now that I know it's
Well,
not
it's certainly not the answer.
right.
I think you've ran out of time here. The answer was Doug Benson.
Oh, shit. That sounds like him.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it would, wouldn't it?
Right. You look like you're listening to a show.
I was listening to, I don't know. Sorry.
You'll play another round of Sign the Joke.
Let's give it a try.
Perfect. My mom is crazy. People always like to joke, oh, my mom is crazy. My mom is crazy. Her entire house is filled with nothing but pictures of Princess Diana, and they're all from right after the accident. Sign the joke.
Is that Doug Stanhope?
No.
No.
It was Anthony Jeselnik. These are pretty easy answers.
I suppose.
I think whoever wrote these did a pretty good job.
Fantastic. Stump me.
Right.
Hey, that was a pretty cool segment, huh? How about this next one where David interviews the owner?
Hey there, I'm David Collins, and we're here at Cosmic Oasis in Galena, Illinois, and I'm here with Allison, the business owner of Cosmic Oasis, who invited us up here to do the episode and talk to customers and promote the coffee shop a little bit and just participate in whatever's happening. How are you?
I'm
well, thanks so
great.
much
Thank
for having
you.
us. We really appreciate being here, and it's been a lot of fun. We're kind of coming to the end of it here, but we've gotten the episode recorded, and we've kind of interviewed some of the people and learned a little bit about Galena. How long have you had the business here?
Well, first off, sure. So my name's Allison Vanderpool. We bought the business in May, and so we've been just trying to kind of figure out when to be open, what to serve, what to offer, and what the
Right.
people of Galena and visiting Galena might be looking for. So.
You know, I've heard a lot of businesses now are selling, if they don't want to sell alcohol, which you don't have alcohol here.
Correct.
They might sell cannabis drinks.
Yeah, we've been considering both of those items. Of course, there's all kinds of red tape to kind of navigate with either of those things. So,
Really?
yeah.
I see. So what do you kind of do? You have these boba drinks, and we were thinking about trying that, but even I talked to somebody else, and they said, oh, I'm pretty nervous about it, too. I'm pretty panicky about these boba drinks. I don't think we're going to try any today, but a lot of people seem to like them.
Yeah, you know, a lot of people like them. I think boba is really the popping boba is a really popular thing.
It's popping, you might say.
It's kind of like a gusher. Are you familiar with the nostalgic 90s fruit snack?
Right.
It's filled with a gummy liquid. It's that's similar to and then sort of a fruit flavor variety. That's kind of what the popping boba is reminiscent of. And then there's a tapioca boba that's very popular. That's more of like a little black, chewy bean kind of thing.
Oh, that sounds kind of nice. You know, sometimes I'll get a drink, and it will have a coffee bean in it, and then at the end, you get to eat the coffee bean.
Right, as a garnish.
Right. That's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Do you
it's
do
kinda
anything
fun.
like that?
Not yet. Not yet.
That's a good idea. Maybe you could name a drink after me.
I would love to do that.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
What a collaboration.
What kind of drink do you think would be your signature drink?
Just black coffee.
Okay, so just every black coffee would be called the David Collins.
That could work.
Yeah, it could be something to catch on, I think.
Right. The Cosmic Oasis David Collins special.
It's a mouthful, but we could.
And a lot of people have said that about a lot of things. Our Instagram at DC 30-minute half-hour show, very difficult to find.
Easy to screw up, yeah.
Certainly.
Yeah, you
And
got to
there's
get
not
the characters right.
And it's spelled, it's the 3-0. That's against a lot of people too.
Right, yeah.
How'd you pick the name Cosmic Oasis?
Oh,
There's not a lot of space-themed things downtown.
That's why, really, just to have something really unique, fun, kind of like a good excuse to have an art project all over the place.
Right.
So
And we have this mural behind me here. Did you do this mural?
I did, yeah. Ulysses S. Grant's kind of a big deal in Galena, so the
Certainly.
idea of him being sort of in an astronaut get-up was kind of funny. So, yeah, we went with that.
Right. He's fighting the Confederates from space. Right. Well, we actually brought this up earlier because somebody said, oh, Galena, there's a lot of hauntings here. There's a lot of ghosts. And even in my notes, somebody wrote here talking about Galena, is the coffee shop haunted? So you have this new coffee shop here. Are you here ever late nights at all? Hear any steps upstairs? Does anybody live above you?
Yeah, upstairs is an attorney's office.
Spooky.
Yeah. Craig Brown.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to be here at Cosmic Oasis. Have you felt a lot of success? We're coming towards the end of the summer, which is a little odd, being that we talk a lot about comedies and comedy clubs and comedians. Once you come to the end of the summer, that's when things really start picking up. People start in the fall, they start going to comedy clubs and spending time there. In the summer, it's hard to keep people in the door, but your business must be almost the reverse, where you're coming to the end of the summer, the tourists in Galena are going to start slowing down.
Yeah, you would think that, but actually the fall is really the busiest time of the year for Galena.
Really?
It picks up. I mean, July, August, pretty busy, and then there's really something going on every weekend in September and October. So
Well, October, when we mentioned this on a previous episode, our season finale of David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show, I'll be participating in a Stein holding competition this year at the beginning of October.
Sure, yeah. Galena Oktoberfest is on October 5th. Here in Galena at Depot Park.
Will
That's
you be
gonna
open
be
at
a
that
fun-
time?
We'll be open. We'll be open that day, and Sean, my husband, and I, and Cameron, our baby, will all be participating at the festival as well. So we'll see you at the Stein holding, I'm sure.
Right. Wow, what an event. That's perfect. Cosmic Oasis, is there anything else? I understand you have multiple businesses.
Sure, yeah.
Hey, you're dressed like you manage the attorney's office upstairs rather than a coffee shop.
Thank you. I am a licensed realtor, and my husband's a licensed realtor as well with Choice Realty. and I'm brokered with Epic Realty. We operate a small nonprofit called Audible Visions that makes events and business and tourism opportunities more accessible for people with low vision and blindness and other disabilities. I also operate I run an Instagram account that's dedicated to the idea that there are deer that live in town that don't respect you and aren't afraid of you. It's called Town Deer, town_deer.
Town_deer. That's fascinating.
I operate a small technology training business for seniors. It's called Innovative Independence. And I think, and then we own this coffee shop.
That's a lot of businesses. Are you hiding something?
No, I probably should be, but no, I'm not.
Perfect. Well, Allison Vanderpool, that's correct.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm infamously terrible with names.
From Jerry's firing to shirts being handed out at a comedy festival, there were a lot of captivating developments to cover this week.
Okay. We have new people doing the editing now since we've let go of Jerry. I haven't even had the opportunity to talk about that yet. We've just been teasing it now.
That's news to me, David.
It is news to you. Mm-hmm. Oh, we've been teasing it. He was leaving some nasty YouTube comments.
David Cuttings.
Captivating developments.
So, of course, the biggest captivating development is we have officially let Jerry go.
About time.
You might say it's about time. He was a great member of the team, and we love to, it's just too bad, really, that I won't be able to use his basement anymore. That's kind of a big deal for us. But for one, his pranks were getting a little out of control. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of a prank, and I don't really want to put him down for some of those. Another issue that we were having, though, of course, he has access to everything, and I usually do the emails myself, but he has access to the YouTube comments.
That's not good.
And he was leaving some nasty YouTube comments.
What did he say?
And I have no idea what we were able to delete or what we caught, but for instance, one of these was somebody named Melaman126 said, "Why does David Collins look like that?" And Jerry responded, "Because your mom dressed me."
Uh-oh.
And we can't have that representing the channel. So after a little back and forth, we've had to let Jerry go.
Yeah, that was rude of him.
It was rude of him.
Yeah.
And we can't really have that. So it's a little too bad. If anybody sees Jerry, don't give him too hard of a time.
Oh, man. Did you get a strike?
No, we just had to get it. It's bad for the culture of the channel.
I see.
We have an image that we want to project to our audience, and we don't need him starting gruff on the internet.
The YouTube algorithms, they can take you down if you're naughty.
Right. That means, though, that we're going to be taking Jerry's submissions. So if anybody else wants to take over some editing roles or anything in the background, make sure you email me, dc30minutehalfhour@gmail.com. In fact, something else that we didn't talk about, David Collins' captivating development. We've spent a lot of time here getting shirts to different comedians and different acts around the country, including, most recently, Instagram celebrity Doug Townsend. He's a car salesman, and he has 700,000 Instagram followers. Today, I drove 40 minutes to meet with his booker and give them a handful of shirts so that they could be wearing those shirts at Skankfest this year. They're also going to be handing them out for us, so that should be really great. We've also gotten a handful of shirts to a friend of the show, Tyler Meyerhoff, and Austin Ingalls, and I think those might make an appearance also.
Wow.
So we have a handful. Hopefully we have 10 to 15 shirts floating around that comedy festival.
Austin is in Austin, is he not?
Austin Ingalls is in Austin.
Is that where Skankfest is?
Las Vegas.
He's going to
No,
Vegas?
you're right. Maybe Austin Ingalls won't be there. Do you watch the show?
I do.
David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show.
I have.
Because I noticed you have a
watched the show.
shirt there.
That's right. Yeah, I have a.
And these shirts have
the
really
shirt.
made it around. I remember we've started getting rid of these shirts, I think, in the summer of 2023, and now they're just all over the country. We even have a bunch of shirts that are going to be appearing at the comedy festival, Skankfest, next year. Are you familiar with the Instagram Doug Townsend? He's a car salesman.
No, I don't think so.
Well, he has about 750,000 followers, and we got him 6 shirts this afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Along
Excellent.
with some other comedians there that we've connected with, have all our shirts, and they're going to be around at Skankfest, and they're going to say, "Oh, wow, a David Collins fan." That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah, that's great. I've actually been recognized as a David Collins fan by wearing their shirt around town.
Wow.
So the reputation does precede you.
That's perfect.
Already in Galena.
David also played a second game with the coffee shop patrons. Finish the punchline.
Do you consider yourself funny?
Give me a David Collins one. I can.
Here we go. This is why don't we play a quick round of Finish the Punchline?
Okay,
that's all right. Do you consider yourself a joke writer? Have you ever?
No, but I have come up with the witty quip.
Have you ever performed stand-up comedy?
No.
I see.
Well, sometimes at the dinner table.
Right. Well, it's like a comedian. You ask a comedian, you say, when did you start comedy? Oh, when I was 5 years old at the dinner table.
You know, Lisa and I joke with each other all the time. She says, you always laugh at your own jokes. I said, but if I don't think they're funny, who else is going to think they're funny, right?
That's a good point.
That's right.
Finish the punchline. This joke is by Gabriel Iglesias. How do you feel about that?
Muy bien.
Perfect. I get to the reunion. There's a lady at a table, and she's got stickers on the table that say, hello, my name is, and then with a Sharpie, you write your own name. I was so drunk, I couldn't even write Gabriel. I wrote blank. I get to the reunion. There's a lady at a table. She's got stickers on the table. They say, hello, my name is, and then with a Sharpie, you write your name. I was so drunk, I couldn't even write Gabriel. I wrote blank. Finish that punchline.
Angel.
I wrote Flacco.
Oh, shit, nice.
Flacco.
Right. He's a large man. Couldn't even spell his name. He wrote skinny in Spanish.
Oh. My Spanish isn't that good.
Oh, it's a pretty clever joke. It's a thinker.
I know fat is gordo, but I didn't know that Flacco was thin.
He probably looks at his audience after he tells that joke and says, this guy will be getting that one on the bike ride home. Why don't we play a round of Finish the Punchline here?
More people aren't outraged about this.
Well, no, we nipped it in the bud so that it wasn't creating outrage. Cool. And one of these, he said something about somebody's mom. You can't say that.
Right.
My friend said to me, I think the weather's trippy. I said, no, man, it's not the weather that's trippy, but perhaps it's the way that we can perceive it that is indeed trippy. Then I thought, man, I should have just said blank.
That shit's
Finish that
trippy.
punchline.
That shit's trippy.
This is by Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, that is a Mitch Hedberg.
My friend said to me, I think the weather's trippy. I said, no, man, it's not the weather that's trippy, but perhaps it's the way that we perceive it that is indeed trippy. Then I thought, man, I should have just said, yeah. Well, that's a fine joke. What do you think about that joke?
I like it.
Finally, we'll be sending it to a more private setting for today's emails and voicemails.
I'm emailing David Collins.
Hey there. I'm David Collins, and we wanted to wrap up today's episode with, of course, one of my favorite segments, David Collins call-ins and emails. And we had a few emails that came in over the break here. Nothing really too much I wanted to cover, but we also had a couple voicemails here, so we go through a few of these at the end of the show. First, we're going to listen to a great voicemail here from somebody we've already seen on the show today, Todd Basinger. He had something that he wanted to add to world news.
Hey, David, just calling in about the whole Diddy thing. That's pretty wild, huh? I wrote a little, Dr. Seuss thing for it, though. Diddy definitely did it. Diddy definitely dastardly drugged dudes to diddle their dicks. Diddy's dildo drawer discovery was devastating to his defense. But, let's be honest, how many dudes did Diddy diddle if Diddy did, in fact, diddle dudes?
Tim from Batavia, Illinois wrote in, good afternoon, David, or whatever part of the day you may be reading this. I'm a big fan of baseball, specifically the Chicago White Sox. Unfortunately for me, our team just broke the record for having the worst season in MLB since the year 1900. Have you been paying attention to this or any other sports? I'm curious who David Collins roots for. Thanks, Tim. Well, Tim, like I just mentioned here, that's more of a Jerry subject. He's kind of been focused on the sports. I don't really pay too much attention to sports. And when you used to get an email having to do with sports and college sports specifically, I would get a take from Jerry. And that wasn't really an option this week. But thanks so much for that email, Tim. On that same note, I noticed another email we had here kind of on that subject. So this is from Kelly Clemens. Kelly writes, hello, David. It sounds like you and Jerry have some tension. My friend, who also listens to the show, said that you got mad at Jerry for something small and he quit. I don't believe you would do that. I'm Team David, but my friend is Team Jerry. Help us clear this up. So I think these rumors actually kind of started. We might have teased this on a previous episode too, but we also had a clip on the Instagram that mentioned his firing, so people were already talking about it. Of course, what was your even question here? Oh, well, he didn't quit. No, he was fired. So that will clear things up here. You should be on our side, David Collins' 30-minute half-hour show. But everybody, Jerry's fine. Nobody has any hard feelings about it, I think. Right? Oh, we should get T-shirts. That's a good idea. We also got an email here from a friend of the show, Austin Ingalls, that I haven't listened to yet. I actually wanted to listen to it there, and we could react to it. But the friend of the show, Austin Ingalls, who we've cleared up will not be at Skankfest this week, or last week. But he is in Austin, Texas, and we're hoping that he's doing all right. Why don't we take a quick listen here?
David, new me, new you, new season. Boy, what a show.
Right.
David, a lot of people know this about me. One of my favorite movies is Fight Club, and they're making an all-female Fight Club remake. That's never going to work because rule number 1 is don't talk about Fight Club, and women love to gossip. That's fun, David. Boy, what a joke. Anyway, David, I was just thinking about how excited I am for when I come home in November, and was thinking maybe you could do a guest spot, just put this on air right now. Make everybody feel weird about it. I don't know, David. It's a new season, and I hope you're full of prosperity. You're just a great guy.
Prosperity?
And boy, what a show.
Well, that was a little long-winded, but thanks so much for that. We have a lot of sound effects on my board over here. Thanks so much for that email, Austin Ingalls. Having to do with that all-female Fight Club, I haven't heard of that. If anybody has heard of that movie coming out, make sure you email me, dc30minutehalfhour@gmail.com. But that's interesting. What a great joke. It seems a little, he could have went for a much more blue angle on that, I think. Hey, for a pretty clean joke for Austin Ingalls, but thanks so much for sending that in. I'd love to do a guest spot for you. In fact, I'm going to be hosting for Ray DeVito in October, and we're doing a lot of things stand-up wise there in the area. On that subject, we actually received another email on that subject here. This was from Peter Langolis. He wrote, "Dear David Collins, I really enjoy your show, especially when we get to see clips of you doing stand-up. I've also been keeping up with the reality show. I have to ask, with this big headlining event on the horizon, how prepared do you think you are?" Well, we're actually getting pretty nervous. Of course, it's coming up. We probably have to get that headlining set booked in December or January, and we have some ideas on there. But I probably only have 25 or 30 minutes of good material right now that I'd be willing to do there, and we still need to build up another 10 minutes. We're booked on shows throughout October and November, so we're just trying to put that all together. Lastly, we had an email come in from friend of the show, Dan McCullough, who was pretty disappointed about not being able to make it to our Cosmic Oasis event last week. So why don't we take a little listen here to Dan McCullough.
Hey, DC, this is Dan McCullough, just giving you a call here. First of all, I just wanted to apologize for not making it to your live show at the Cosmic Oasis Drink Emporium in Galena. Man, yeah, I'm sorry. It's I just had some family stuff come up that day, and unfortunately couldn't make it, but I mean, from the sounds of it, everyone had a blast and got a lot of fun games in, and you met the owners there and stuff. So it's really cool. I'm glad you're supporting local, and I will for sure make it to the next time that there's like an open mic there or anything like that. Be sure to let me know when that is. Thanks.
Boy, what a great episode. That's perfect. Everybody listening, I've been David Collins, and you've been the best.
David Collins. 30 minutes. Show with David Collins.